Okay. So this is the Adam Thurgood house. This is one of the more haunted locations that you'll find in Virginia Beach. It's always on the list of most haunted places in the city and in the state of Virginia in general. There it is. So this house was built in 1719. It wasn't built by Adam Thorogood. It was probably built by his great-grandson in 1719. And I guess pine straw samples say that this house isn't any older than 1704. So decades after Mr. Thorogood had died in 1640. Yes, 1640. So most likely built by his great-grandson. So, Adam Thorogood was born in Norfolk, England, and after hearing all the tales of, John Smith's adventures and everything going on, he decided to hop on a ship in 1622 to Virginia. He paid for his voyage by becoming an indentured servant. He worked his time, became a community leader, then he was elected to the House of Burgesses. So, he was kind of a bigwig in the colonial era. And in 1636, he acquired 5,350 acres of land next to the Lynn Haven River, which would be all this that you see here, which is now all mostly neighborhood. Here's the garden. Very pretty back here. There's the back of the house, or actually this would technically be the front of the house because people would travel by river and they'd come up from the river and they'd come up here, and this is where they would enter the house. So people who have worked here and people who visited have experienced all sorts of strange things. There's a story about how when there was a tour going on, a bunch of candles levitated off a table and then crashed down in front of a room full of people. So I guess it's kind of hard to dispute that when the ghost decided to do it in front of the tourists. So, I got my notes here. People feel cold spots in the building, even though there's no central air. Again, objects move around on their own. Especially candlesticks. Candlesticks like to move around on their own here. I guess there's a story in the 1700s, someone shot themselves in the head in the stairwell, and people kind of hear the thumping of someone falling down the stairwell, which would be very unsettling, I would think. There is a ghost of a red-haired woman in colonial garb who wanders the property. People have seen her in the early morning running across the lawn in the front. There's another woman entity people have seen in the house, and she carries candles. There's a lot to do with candles. I don't know why that is, but that's a lot of instances of ghostly candles and levitating candles and crashing candles, and so that's pretty interesting. There's also a man in a brown suit who they see walking around, who they assume might be Adam Thurgood, but I don't know why it would be. I don't know, a brown suit. So, I guess there was an instance, one of the docents here was out in the wooded area near the side of the house. I don't know where for sure that is, but I guess there was a shadowy figure watching her that didn't feel right, and usually shadow figures don't ever feel right, usually don't feel good about that. So she turned and left, and I guess they were having an event here, and they had a Native American speaker come because he was going to talk about the traditions that they used to do here at during those times. And he went back in the woods to go kind of prepare himself, and when he came out, he said that there was something evil that lived in there, and he did a prayer ritual back there. So again, we have like lots of instances of shadowy entities that live around places of high intense paranormal activity, and you know, why wouldn't there be? There's the Lynnhaven River back there. You know, water too. Flowing, running water in general seems to be a magnet and energy source. Something like that. We've all heard that. There was also an archaeological dig done around the property, and they, of course, they found Native American artifacts. This was along the Lynnhaven Rivers. The Elizabeth River was the Chesapeake tribe who lived here, and they were actually from what I had read, they were massacred by the Powhatan at some point because of some prophecy of a powerful force from the east coming and destroying the Powhatan. And so the Chesapeake were massacred, and those who weren't massacred moved west into, were adopted into other tribes like the Nadsmen, who are out in Suffolk. So that's definitely not, massacres definitely leave really intense negative energy behind. So that could obviously explain those sorts of things. And I've heard a lot of, especially around the river systems here, of entities like that are seeing sort of, I guess, Native American spirits who still wander along places like this. So those are the stories from the Adam Thoroughgood house. It's a very beautiful property out here. I love these gardens. So if you love taking pictures, it's a very beautiful spot. I've never felt anything particularly weird out here. I've never had any experiences. I don't come out here a lot. I don't know why, I just don't. Probably because after years and years of coming here, I've never experienced anything. I came out here once at sunset, like almost 5 o'clock closing time, and a docent who was working here was nice enough to let me go into the building and just kind of wander around until she closed up. And she was, you know, she kind of told a bit of the stories about the guy in the stairwell and about the candles and stuff like that that levitate, but I didn't really have anything happen, so I just don't really come here that often. The only weird vibe that I get from here, there's more woods back there, but I don't really know exactly what end of the woods they are talking about where they felt the entity, but here's some back here too. Oh gosh, that was slippery. Watch yourself from moss on old brick. That is slippery. Yeah, so you see there's a shed back there, there's some woods back here. I don't know if it was back here that they were talking about seeing the shadow entity that didn't feel right. I could see it being right here. So anyway, the only weird vibe that I've ever gotten here, and people think I'm weird when I say that different trees have different personalities. I don't know. I spend a lot of time outside. I like being in nature. I'm a big tree hugger. I have lots of pictures of myself taking pictures hugging trees. So that should tell you that right there. So some trees, I don't know, give off weird vibes. And this one in particular gives me weird vibes. I never liked it. I don't like walking around. I don't like walking near it. It's a really cool looking tree, but I don't know. It's just doesn't seem right. It kind of reminds me of if you've ever seen the movie Fern Gully. There's the evil entity Hexus, and he lives in the tree, and when they cut it, like all this black ooze and stuff comes out, and you know, it's kind of what it reminds me of. So yeah, but in general, that's kind of see inside there a little. I think I might have some pictures from inside. I'm not for sure, but if I do, I'll put them on the end of this video so you can kind of get a sense for what it looks like on the inside. Pretty much like any colonial house you'll visit. Here we go, inside again. This would be your back entrance over here. This is heading back towards the parking area. There's a museum over there, but unfortunately everything is closed. I don't know if they're doing renovations. I think they were, but everything is still closed. Again, we have all the COVID stuff still going on, so who knows. Yikes, there's that tree. So here, let me back away. You can kind of see it. So yeah, that is the Thoroughgood house. Those are the stories as far as I know. I don't know if any of y'all have been here and have had any experiences. I haven't. I'm kind of disappointed about that. But I like the gardens. It's very nice, very peaceful. So it's definitely worth coming out here if you're in the area. Here's a historic marker for it. So yeah, thank y'all for watching, and hopefully we'll do more of these. I'll just keep going around to the places that I know about, and we'll just do walkabouts and tell stories. Alright, see y'all later.